Hey there, Dana here to welcome you to episode 32 of If This Car Could Talk. Today you're in for a real treat. Owner built in his fully equipped home shop and totally awesome, a 1967 Dodge Dart that's been given new life as a 1968 NHRA Superstock Hemi Dart. This sweet Superstock tribute car is owned and built by Jim Wade of Phoenix, Arizona. So sit back and listen to Jim tell you their story. Now let's go for a ride.
I'm Jim Wade and live here in Phoenix, Arizona. And I own the 1968 Dodge Dart. I did convert it into a Hemi Dart, and it's actually it's a replica of the NHRA, National Hot Rod Association Superstock Hemi Dart. And it was a 5-year build. I finished it in 2016, and unfortunately when I got the car, it was in pretty rough shape. At the time, I wasn't planning on doing a Superstock car, but since I do a lot of drag racing here in our Division 7 for NHRA, I decided, build a cruiser for my wife and I to go to car shows and short cruises, or I actually built it for the Hot Rod Power Tours. I hope eventually we get a chance to head back in the Midwest and take it back there, but in the meantime, we just wanted to do a nice car show, build on it. And but the car when I got it was pretty rough, and the gentleman who I got it from, I did an engine build for him, and he couldn't pay me. So I asked, I said, do you have something in collateral? And he said, well, I got some cars here. Well, I saw the Dart. It was real rough, and I thought, okay, I'll take the Dart. He didn't have any paper, no title, anything on it, so I drug it home. My wife, she looked at me, she said, you're going to build another one, aren't you? I said, yeah. So I got the title, changed around, had it inspected, and as soon as I did that, then I started taking the car apart and started modifying the chassis. Subframe connectors, put in an NHRA roll cage. I had a Dana 60, I narrowed it, and moved the leaf springs in, put the box kit in the lower suspension, put in a mini tub, and started doing the fabrication, all the metal work before I started into the body work. So, but once I got all the welding done, and the car, the engine that was in it was a small block. It was in pretty rough shape. I wasn't planning on using it, so I started looking for a 5.7 or 6.1 Hemi to put in it. I could have put a 426, the big Gen 2 Hemis, but they're too heavy, frontal heavy. I mean, they're great power, but I wanted something that we could drive long distance, still have 400 horse or so, and still have something comfortable. So I started looking for a 5.7 Hemi, and I found one out of an 08 half-ton pickup, and so I brought it home. I didn't do any build on the motor yet. I spent all my time on the chassis first, got it out of the way, and then I spent months blocking and pulling the metal and the fenders and the dents and all the other stuff to get the body straight. And then I've got a paint booth and a rotisserie here at the house, so I did all the work here. And once I got the body and paint, it's a base coat, clear coat paint setup. It's actually a Ford color, and I modified it. I shot the car in black primer sealer, which darkened the Ford blue. It's called Blue Flame Metallic, and it darkened it to the color we have now. So that worked out well. Then I started in on the drivetrain. The 5.7 Hemi build was good. The motor was hurt a little bit. It was an MDS multi-displacement setup, so I had to pull the lifters and pull the heads. So I just went ahead and did a full build, and the motor's got some nice parts in it, comp cam, and it has good power now, and it fires on all 8 cylinders now. But one thing I did not want to do is cut the car up for an automatic transmission or an overdrive, and so I decided to go with a Tremec TKO 600 5-speed, and it's got this 064 overdrive for the overdrive. So it cruises very nicely at 70, 75 at about 2,200 RPM, very comfortable. And so everything else is as stock as I could keep it. Everything bolted into the K-frame, stock factory K-frame. TTI makes the motor mounts and the brackets to bolt in not only the motor, but they also provide the headers and some of the exhaust stuff available to do the Gen 3 Hemi in an A body, or even a B body if you want to go that route. So it came together, it's running very well now. We took the car. I trailered it up to Vegas. We went to a show up there. It was Moparts at the Strip several years ago, and we got first place for A Body Modified. And the gentleman who had teched the car was writing a book on Superstock Hemi darts and Cudas. I didn't know that. So when he was looking the car over, he said, "Is this an original VIN modified Hemi car from Chrysler or Dodge?" I said, "No, it's not." And out of 100 points, I got a 99. So I was quite happy with that. So I got a trophy and plaque with that, so it went pretty good. But I think the longest trip we took was we went to California. It's called Spring Fling, and we went over there about 3 years ago. I again trailered it because of the California traffic. I didn't want to hurt the car. We had a ball. We went up and down the coast highway. We ended up third place in full race. There were some other Hemi cars there, very nice cars. But we had fun just cruising and enjoying the ocean, whatever the car with the rest of the clubs that were there. So that's about the farthest we've gone so far. We'd like to get over to the Hot Rod Power Tour, which is usually from Columbus, Ohio down to Memphis, Tennessee. But with the COVID virus situation right now, we're kind of holding back on that. I've got some other hot rod muscle car projects to do in my shop. So right now it's kind of on hold, but one day we'll get there. We'll make it, I know. But one thing, since I didn't know how bad off the car was, I didn't know if it had rust in it, was it an original Arizona car, where'd it come from? I did some research on the VIN number. It was built at the Chrysler assembly plant in LA. So it was always an Arizona car, so there was no rust in it. So when I took the car over, empty body over to Hitson Sandblasting over here in Glendale, Lynn did all the blasting, and he called me back. He said, "Hey, this is about the most cleanest body he's ever done. There was no rust in the body whatsoever." So I got pretty lucky about the build. And as soon as he finished the sandblasting, I rolled it in his shop. It was still on the rotisserie, and I started painting it in black primer sealer so we wouldn't get any surface rust and that type of thing. So I shot it in black, and then brought it home, and I started doing body work and that kind of thing. So the chassis was actually in really good shape. The welding of the subframe connectors, tie in the suspension, the roll cage, the tubs, that was all done. So when he got it to do the sandblasting, then all I had to do was put it in primer and then bring it home and start the detail work of the body and so on. So added the air conditioning on it. I used the existing 140 amp alternator from Dodge that was on the truck. Also, the compressor was good. All I did was plumb it, and then I found a vintage correct under dash AC unit. Those were really good air, and so I tried to keep it as factory looking as if Chrysler, this is the way they would build them if they were still building the cars, and give it that factory stock look. Tried to keep it as original looking. Most times you can't even tell it's ever been tubbed because it's all tied in with the hinge area of the hood or the trunk area and the spring area. So the hood, before we shot it, I wanted to see if the original Hemi hoods were still available. So I contacted Glass Tech out of Chicago. They were the original company that made the Hemi Cuda and Dart hoods. So I called them. They said, yes, we still make them. And we have two types, one either pinned or a hinged hood. What would you like? So I said, send me a hinged hood. So they sent me a hinged hood, and took the springs off the hinges so it wouldn't bow the fiberglass. That's a one-piece fiberglass hood. And so I put it on the car, and then we went ahead and shot the paint and everything like that. So it's an original super stock Hemi hood. The Dart is pretty much done. I'm thinking about trying to find a 6.1 or 6.4 Hemi, putting a stroke kit in it and making a 426 out of it. And but that's in the future. But right now, it drives nicely, fires right up, just for car shows and fun, you know.
Wow, that is so cool. And trust me, very awesome to ride in. Definitely an attention getter. Remember to hit that subscribe button, and in the comments, please let us know what supercar you would like to build a tribute to. Tune in on Thursday for part 2 of this remarkable ride story. Until then, keep it between the ditches and stay safe out there.